Hey guys, so I recently did a video where I tried to use a backpack bladder, to double a backpack as my water container inside my camper for my sink dispenser. And that was a bit of a fail, but in retrospect, it might not be a fail because, I think I learned something from it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply that knowledge to my old sink. Remember this sink that I made? You could check the video up there. But I did the sink, and here was the water dispenser. But I feel like because this thing is so compact, when you put it away, if I had a bladder, I could put this bladder into it also, and I could have a really compact portable sink, and I don't need to have this big bulky water container. It's all contained within here. So let me show you what I have in mind. Okay, so for storage, you could see just keeping the bladder in here and the, the water dispenser, that's going to make it really easy for me to move this around as opposed to having this type of water container. So this will be great, but I need to modify this water container. And in my failed video, you could check out that video here where I failed at doing that. I think I'm actually going to use this, and I'm going to cut this, which I didn't want to do in the original video because I didn't want to lose the straw sucking capabilities. But using a viewer suggestion, I actually looked up into these pouches. They're actually really inexpensive. These pouches are like only like $10. So I'm going to be okay with hacking this up because I could buy a replacement pouch for $10 pretty easy. The nice thing is this will be watertight so that you know it, the water is only open when this valve is in there and it opens it up. Okay, so let's modify this a little bit and get it to fit this dispenser right here. And what I'm hoping is that if I could just cut this side right here, that it would fit right into there. So let's try that first. Okay, so if I'm lucky, the tubes are compatible and there's very little I need to do. Yes, I just kind of ruined it, but like I said, I found out they were much cheaper and you could get some for maybe even like $7, $8. Okay. Unfortunately, that is just too loose. That won't hold. And that's what I suspected, that it wouldn't work. But I have some tubing available. All right, so I'm going to use this tubing that I had that I know fits because I've used it before, so I know it fits, so that's perfect. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to measure how long I want that to be. Okay, so for the tubing, I probably want it to be about this long or so. Just there's a little bit of bend on the inside. I'm just going to cut it real nice and easy. See, and then we'll need to make a hole for it. That hole, what I want to do is have that hole right here so that this lid doesn't get in the way. I'm trying to think of a way that I could get this lid to work too. Maybe I could just glue this sink on the bottom side and I'll have a lid too. I think I'll do that. I think that'll work out. So we'll do that later. So we'll improve this whole sink later. We'll have this guy right here and we'll drill a hole so that uh, we could have the dispenser right there. Okay? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to put uh, this guy into this adapter nozzle right here so he snaps in there. And you'll see that will not come out easy. So what you have to do is you have to cut it. And hopefully I could cut it open and it'll open up easy for me. If not, I'll have to use the blade. Looks like I have to use the blade. All right, so I got that out. A little cutting up to make it a little bit looser. And let's see if this will fit in. I doubt it will, because the tube is a little bit bigger. Oh shoot, looks like it will come in pretty securely. And even if it didn't, I would use the heat gun to heat the tubing, and it should slide right in. But if I don't have to heat it, then that's even better. All right, I think that's going to do. Okay, that should be good enough. Should be watertight. We'll test that out, of course. Okay, now I have a tubing for my bladder that will fit in just like that. Okay, that's perfect. So now I need to make a hole. Okay, so I need to make a hole for this guy so that when I open this guy up, I can put the tubing down that hole and it'll hold my dispenser secure and the tube will be down there. And I'm thinking of having two options of having the bladder inside or outside. So we'll look at that too. All right, so we'll just go with the biggest drill bit I have, which isn't very big. But it should be close, and then I could use this bit right here to go a little bit bigger. Actually, I don't want the plastic to crack, so I'm going to heat it up a little bit. I learned my lesson from the last time. All right, and that went through pretty easy with the heat. Let's see if that hole is big enough. Definitely not big enough. So I'm going to take this bit right here and enlarge the hole. Yeah. The heat made the lid come off, I think. But, yeah. This is for metal. That's why I don't think it's working well. So let me try to find a larger bit. All right, looks like I lied. I do have some larger bits. So let's get it bigger. Make the hole a little bit bigger. Then I'm going to clean up the hole a little bit. That should take care of it. All right. Now I will have my water dispenser real nice and easy. Okay? All right. So now what I have to do is I wanted to, I could have it like this still. And, that would work out great, right? But maybe I'm thinking, can I do something to mount the bowl to the bottom side? And I think I can. I think I I could mount it to the bottom side somehow. So let's give that a shot. I'm thinking if I just use a little screw, I could put it in another screw over here too, and that'll be enough to hold this in. Okay, got that screw in there. Sticks out a little bit, but when that cover's on, you won't see it. And let's see what we can do with this side. Okay, so for this side, I'll do the same thing, but I'm going to put the screw here, just kind of hold it down, not through the bolt. All right, we'll put another one here. And I know what you guys are thinking. Wouldn't a bolt be better? a nut and a bolt? And the answer is yes, it would be better, but I'm not. I just want to make it real easy for right now. All right, so I got the screw here, and these screws here to just kind of hold it in place. All right, on second thought, you know what? It's going to work really nice, and it should be easy enough for anyone else to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use just some twisty ties. So I'm going to drill some holes and then use some twisty ties. Okay, not the straight as evenly lined up holes, but it should do. Okay, now this will be easy. I'm just going to twist. All right, that's easy. Cut off the excess. All right. Now my sink has been improved, and I will be able to put on the lid. So let's push this down. Get that lid back on. Okay. All right. So now I have a working lid on my sink. Definitely an improvement. And that screw right there, that doesn't really affect it. It's just underneath. Okay. All right. That looks great. I like it. All right. I got a little bit of water in here. I don't have a lot. We don't need a lot for the test. Okay. So the dispenser would work like that. You're getting caught up with I should have moved it over more. It's getting caught with that lid, but that's okay. It'll be fine for our test. Okay, so the bladder, you just put it like that, and that's good. And you know, there's dirty water in here, it's no big deal. The bladder is protected from the dirty water. Okay. All right, nice. The only thing that's a problem now is the way this thing sits. So let's find a solution. I made the hole too far that way, so it doesn't sit that well. Maybe I'll just start again and put a hole on that side. But you can see on the inside, you know, the water sits outside the bladder. So that's one option. I also want to make an option where the bladder could sit outside too. So why don't we do that? And I'm just going to sacrifice this hole here and pretend that didn't happen, and I'll put another hole over on this side. Let's give that a shot. double check where I want that hole. Yeah, right about there. Right. Clean up that hole. All right, that second hole is done. So now let's test it out. Okay, so now it's time to test the new and improved portable sink. This will go here. This goes there. Cap that up. That goes on him. Opens up. Sits there. It sits firm now with the stable position. And for the water, we'll just put the bladder on. Okay. Of course, you've got to make sure that this is on the bottom. All right. There's your bladder on the bottom. And now, oops, you got to have it a little bit upright. All right, perfect. So now I have a new improved sink that's going to pack away really nicely. Let's pack it away. Let me dump out this water. Okay, so I just poured out the water, and this is going to be really easy. This is going to go here. This is going to go on top of it. The bladder will go in here. Tube will go right there. And now I have a very, very compact portable unit. I don't need an external water container or anything like that because I already have the bladder in there. All right, so I was able to improve on my sink design by learning something from my failed experiment on my Honda Element. But that's actually not a fail either, because I learned that I'm willing to just cut the tubes and use the bladder itself, and they sell that separate from the backpack, so that'll be great. But anyways, this portable camping sink will be great, and I'm going to use it for my next trip.